bit of rearranging my spices to the new jars that I bought when I visited Cairo. So I'm going to show you the importance of why we need to either reorganize or keep our kitchens clean. As you can see, I started by removing the spices that I have from where I keep them, and then took some new bottles that were cleaned and labeled them. I will not show you that part of labeling, but I labeled them because I did not have the ready-made stickers, which I will do maybe once this one gets spoiled. And I was just I wasn't sure whether I was going to do this to the end, so I just had a few containers that I wanted to put in and see how the outcome will come. So let's go to the importance of reorganizing your kitchen. I find myself most of the time I am a spicy person, despite the challenges that the spices bring to our lives, because when you use a lot of spices, they can cause some problems in your stomach, acidity, gas, and things like that, which I also have, but that doesn't mean that my food will be less yummy because I don't put spices. We have different types of spices, and as you can see, most of these spices come, they are a mixture of either some herbs and the seeds that we normally see. So most of the time I buy both. From the green containers at the far end, you can see those are mostly herbs, the oregano, the bay leaves, the thyme. You can have those ones whether fresh or dried and blended. So those are the most that I use when I'm eating these other ones, the garam masala, pilau masala. We normally use it to the minimal. But if I'm not using the food, they will cook to their liking. So, and then I find out that buying these containers, you can see I have so many different brands of spices. It makes the cabinet looks disorganized. It makes the cabinet looks, I don't know. I didn't just like the way it looks. So I said before the year ends, I'm going to give myself the spices jar and rearrange the spices and see how it looks. The other thing that also made me do that is so that we can declutter sort of. So many containers. We have bigger containers, we have smaller containers. So it is important to have uniformity when you're doing this, and it makes the place look neat, cute, and organized. When you have the same types of jars, of the same color, of the same neck, it makes your place look more neat and organized. So those are the two reasons that made me do this. And maybe to add on that, on the third reason, we can say that as you can see from these bottles, I just had the first one, which was a bigger tin, and I also have a smaller tin. So most of the time I buy in bulk, so that I just have enough in the house. But when you have a bigger tin like the one I'm now restocking it into, it means that everything will be in that container, and you can use it for longer, and you also have just enough in your house. When you have visitors, when you have a function, you just know that you have your spices. Plus the other containers, you can't really see from inside and tell whether is it still there, because most of the time, let's be honest, I don't cook. My house girl does, and at times you might ask them whether those things were well prepared, and as you know them, they will tell you they have the spices, and then once you want to cook, you find that it's not there. So you might end up buying more or not buying because you've been told there's enough, before you to come and find that it's not enough. So reorganizing will help you to know actually the stock you have in your house. I decided to continue and fill all the containers that I had bought. So I continued to refill. Let's talk about these onion spices. I know most people like buying them, they're good, but they've really disappointed me. Not once, not twice, and you can see here, I had bought this and they were still new. And to my shock, they were solid. I do not know what happens. I live in a cold area and the spices just, it was a block. As you can see, there's an onion. And when I checked the other bottle, I also found it that it was the same. So if you can help me to understand what might have caused that, because it had not expired but iliganda, and I do not know kwa nini iliganda. So nilisema niweke hapo, we shall just use them when we are cooking, tumalizane nayo. So here I normally buy this is ginger from Mombasa. I buy a lot and mix it with my tea leaves. So this is what was remaining. I decided to put it in that container and we continue packaging. Some of the containers were not labeled because I thought I was just going to do a few or not even take the video, but I decided to take the video along the way and deal with everything that was on the shelves. You can write to me and tell me the other good ways of arranging your spices. I see a lot of people arranging them in drawers in their containers, but as you can see from my shelf, I really had a lot of these spices, and if I were not doing this, I wouldn't know if I had more than enough, because I'm that type of a person who, when I go to the supermarket, I assume that the house girl is using these things, so I keep buying. I keep buying every time I go for shopping. I keep buying, but I think it's a good thing when you once in a while have a habit of just going to your kitchen and checking the containers, maybe moving around one thing to the other. That's how you get to know really what's inside there, what's available, what has finished before you do your shopping list and then you do your shopping. But you know, as human beings, most of the time we tend not to have enough time to do all that. Sometimes you just you have a free time and you found yourself in the supermarket, then you just decide to, let me stock this because I bought it long time ago, only for you to come back at home and realize that you have more than enough. So this has been my case, and I think it is also one of the reasons why I had decided that I am going to repackage the spices, so that one, the place looks neat. Two, I also know what's been used a lot, what my house help uses a lot when cooking. And three, also get to use what has not been used, because once they're labeled, they're neatly arranged, you know what is for what. That's why I decided to take these few minutes here and do that for today. Another mistake or something that I learned also along the way are these two spices. One, I was holding cayenne pepper, and the other one, it was that was cayenne. There's cayenne pepper, there's paprika, and there's chili. I decided to mix the cayenne pepper and paprika, thinking that they were the same. But when I used the spices later, I realized that it was hot. I didn't know what was happening. So never make these things, not unless you really know what you want to use the spices for. Otherwise, you can just separate them and just keep them separate and use accordingly or according to the recipe that you're making at that time. So I hope you have learned one or two things. Then you also know what are the importance of the packaging your spices, why do you rearrange them, how do you do that, and I'll also learn from you as you also learn from me. For those who are watching up to here, I want to say thank you so much for being here every time, and we are building this family. Thank you for always watching my videos. God bless you. Let me know in the comment section. Let us talk, ask me questions, teach me things, and as we continue, we are going to grow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that every time I upload, I know I am not good at uploading consistently, but as we begin this year, I am so sure that I promised myself that I'm going to be consistent when recording and posting. So let's do this in this year. Also, I would appreciate your feedback. So don't shy off. Talk to me, communicate with me. Let's learn from each other and also grow together in this journey. So I will talk about the pizza spices and the spaghetti spices. These are two spices that I've noticed I don't use a lot in the house, despite cooking spaghetti almost weekly. But I'd advise you, if you can, just buy the smaller containers so that one, they don't spoil, and two, you can restock quite often once they get finished. I realized that I had 2 or 3 big containers of each, and my house help does not know how to cook pizza. My kids do it, but not very often, and I also don't make the pizzas I buy for them. So we have that spices that is not being used. And you see, if I had not decided to do this work today, I would have not noticed that we have some spices that are never used. I've also learned to know the spices that I use mostly. I also now know which spices are used oftenly and which one are not used. So in the future, I know I'll not buy the pizza, and if I'm to buy, I'll just get a smaller container so that it doesn't spoil while in the house. I'm not saying that they have spoiled, but I still have a lot. Not unless I learn how to make the pizzas at home, those spices might get spoiled while on that shelf. So let's take note of that and improve. I think what I should tell you is buy what you use. Buy what you use, and if you're going to experiment something, a new recipe, just buy in the small containers, something that you will it will not cost you a lot and you end up not using it. So those are the things that I learned along the way when I was rearranging my spice cabinet. And as usual, once you're done with your working or whatever you're doing, ensure that you leave your kitchen clean. It's not good to make a mess and then leave it for someone else to come and do it. So it's always good to clean after yourself. Have that habit of cleaning once you're done with whatever you are doing. Even if you have someone to do that work, just do it for yourself, because you're also exercising yourself, and it's always a good habit. So I was finalizing with the labels, and that's just a piece of paper that I was writing with a marker pen, and then I took the clear sellotape and sticked on top of the containers, and that's what it saved me a lot of money, even if not a lot, but some coins, and I was happy with the results, which I will show you towards the end. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're going to do the same for yourself. One, you can budget, save for the containers because they're not that cheap, and then buy them when you're ready. So this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you and God bless you.